Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Minds of Mortgage podcast. This is Kelly Yale, and today I am truly lucky to be joined by Denise Panza. She is a phenomenal loan officer down in Naples, Florida. She works with Total Mortgage, but if her name sounds familiar, it may just be because you've seen her in social media. She has such a great energetic presence no matter what platform you're on. But if you're on LinkedIn, you've definitely seen her work. So I'm truly excited to talk to her a little bit today about what has made her so successful.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
Well, Denise, I'm so thrilled to meet you. It's funny too, because I usually know the people that I am interviewing, but I've just seen you so much and been such a fan of the way that you kind of show up in social media that I was like, I've really got to get this woman on this podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, what is your favorite platform to market with?
LinkedIn, 100%.
Do you find it's such an interesting thing because even the amount of realtors who use LinkedIn, if you look at the stats, it's not super high, but I think that's changing. Are you seeing a change in that?
Once in a while I do, but you're right, you don't. Because when I'm working with a realtor, I'll go on LinkedIn and try and like friend request him or her. And then I'll go to their page and they might have 30 followers, one post in the last year. I haven't really noticed a big increase in that, but they should though. I try and tell realtors, get your ass on there. Like you can work it and have fun with it and potentially get business.
It's so I for the last 15 years I've been teaching realtors social media. And one of the hardest things to ever get people to believe is that you're like, I understand the way that you think LinkedIn works, but it doesn't work that way. And no one uses it just for jobs. We're out here creating real relationships and really collaborating with one another. But I feel
Totally
like
agree.
they're
Yeah.
reluctant to do it, and I'm not sure why.
I know. I don't get it. I mean, initially when I first went on LinkedIn, I totally thought it was a place to go to look for employment. And the only reason why I entertained LinkedIn was because I'm usually, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but then I thought my friends and my family, because that's usually who you're on there with, right? Facebook is just your friends and family. You don't put complete strangers on from other states and whatnot. And I just thought my friends and family are probably getting so tired of me talking about mortgages. Like I'm going to annoy the heck out of people. And let me go to this strange platform, LinkedIn, where you look for jobs and just see if I can put like a different twist to it. And that's why I'm on it, and that's why I'm going to remain on it, and that's why it's my favorite one to post on.
I love it. Okay, so let's go back a little bit to the beginning because pretty much the first question I usually ask is, how did you end up in mortgage?
Oh, that's easy. So I went to college in Boston to be, my last name is Panza. I wanted to be PI Panza. So Northeastern University had a criminal justice program. And I'm like, okay, here, I'm going to do this because I'm all into crime and stuff. And I went and freshman year, I took this one, course that was mandatory. I failed it. And then I had to take it again sophomore year. And then I got a D in it. And I thought, okay, I'm not really like, I don't love college. I know it's like, I have to do it kind of thing for my dad. And it is the right thing to do. But I thought if I don't switch gears right now, this 5-year college that I'm attending might turn to like 7 years because I'm not really doing so well. So I switched gears. I became a teacher. I got a teaching degree. I went back to Brooklyn. I wanted to teach in the inner city. So I went back to Brooklyn, could not get a teaching job because there was like a major teaching freeze. And so I thought, okay, let me go back to Boston. And I had just met a guy right on the day of my commencement when I graduated. And I went back and I'm like, oh, I started dating him, and maybe Northeastern, I gave them 5 years of my life. They'll find me a job. And then I got pregnant. And then I decided to leave said father of the child when my child was 2 months old and move back to New York because that's where all my friends and family were. And I needed help with this little 2-month-old guy. And then I needed a job. And the only job I could find, because again, major teaching freeze, I remember putting out resumes like in every school district. There was a post-closing position at a mortgage company that came up in New York, and my father had owned a mortgage company in Long Island. So I was like the copy queen in the summers. I would go back and forth, from Long Island to Boston and just sit there. I'm sure, back in the day, everything was just, there was nothing digital about the world then. And everything was just photocopying. That's all I did. I was the copy queen. And there was this post-closing position, which is kind of the same job, copying a lot of files and whatnot. And I took it, and then I just kind of like worked my way up into being a loan officer, and here I am.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And so how many years have you been a loan officer?
Probably 28.
Wow. So you have seen the kind of transition in this industry that those who came in maybe during a refi boom in the last 10 years, or 5 years technically, probably just do not even understand the kinds of things that you experienced, dot matrix printers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
times have changed.
they definitely have. And so you are down in Naples, working with Total. How are you seeing the Florida market? Because I know we're all kind of seeing news about it. What does it feel like to really be there and be in it?
It's definitely different. So I am licensed in 15 states. So a lot of my business is still in Connecticut, New York, where you do a pre-approval for someone, and then they're putting in like 20 offers before an offer is accepted. Now down here in Florida, Naples, it doesn't really matter where. It could be anywhere in Florida. You put an offer in, you're not paying. You're not asking offer. You're paying way below, and you're getting seller concessions like left and right. It's definitely a buyer's market down here. It's
Yeah.
changed big time. Such a different dynamic when I get a Connecticut application and when I get a Florida application. Like this one's closing in like 3 weeks. This one, it's going to take 3 months for an offer to get accepted.
Oh gosh. And is it mostly just that you feel like it's really the insurance that's kind of crippling people's ability to buy?
I think so. I just did one in Miami, single family home, wasn't even on the water, and just the homeowner's insurance itself was $6,600 a year. That's a lot.
Well, especially if you are, if you have a big mansion and it's on sand, I get that you are a risk. You know what I mean? But I feel like for first time home buyers who are just trying to make it possible, like $6,600 a year is astounding.
That's all. And then you think about it, they have to drive to work maybe, and
Right.
the car insurance down here is like another $3,500 a year. I mean, we're talking $10,000 a year just for your homeowner's insurance and your car insurance.
So I got a big lesson in this from my son a few months ago. He lives not 2 hours away. He lives in Columbia, South Carolina, and we live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he was getting a new car, and he said, "But you don't understand. The insurance is so much higher here." And I had never heard of this before. He has a perfect driving record. He's been driving for 5 years. Why would your insurance be so high? And then our insurance agent kind of explained it, and I was like, "I don't want that to come here. Like, like, please tell people we are not interested in Charlotte. Okay, we vote no on that." But it is crazy, crazy how much these insurance companies are charging now.
You know, it's sad because the difference in the payment can give you another $100,000 in house.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Now, how long have you lived in Naples?
2 years, 2.5 years.
Okay. And then do you just adore it?
I do love it here. I
Yeah.
feel like I smile more. You're outside more, you're healthier. People are so kind. We were just talking about
Yeah.
because we're just all at the melting pot down here and everyone just wants to learn about everyone. Where are you from? Where are you from? It's just a beautiful place to be. I'm never going back to New York. I love New York. It will always have a special place in my heart. My mother lives there, my siblings live there, but this is my home.
So I was down 2 years ago, and my very, very good friends lived in Naples for a while. They also were from Ohio, see how it all works. But they were like, "Oh, when you're down there, you got to check out this and check out this." I found it to be one of the loveliest, quaintest places I've ever visited. Just absolutely loved it.
It really is.
That's
It
so fun.
really is special.
Yeah, I love it. So, what would you say has been the biggest change in the industry that you have seen in your time in it?
What is that? Well, there's a lot more. I feel like I feel like back in the day, it was like a small family of loan officers, of like account executives, and we were just, everybody knew each other in the entire state. And now that's like multiplied. And now there's just so many loan officers, so many AEs, different companies. It's just, it's bigger. It doesn't have that like, that little warm, fuzzy feeling like it used to be like 30, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I miss that part, I think, you
Oh,
know?
I worked in a family environment for a really long time. It seemed like no matter how big we got, you still knew everybody at the company, and it felt a little different.
Yeah, and not even so much the company though. I felt like all the other companies around, there was only like
Yeah.
a small, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was just everybody knew each other. It was kind of, I don't know, I just missed that part.
How many kids do you have?
I
You
have
know,
two.
two. How old are they now?
They're 30 and 21.
30 and 21.
How about you?
22 and 19, both boys.
Oh,
Yes, but
okay.
so that was kind of the question I had for you too is how did you balance being a loan originator, but just being this working mom all the time too?
I didn't. I wasn't good at it.
Well answered, my
And my
friend.
kids will tell you, you were never there. You didn't go to my soccer game. You weren't at this football game. I'm like, yeah, because I was a single mom for the majority of my life. So, and this business, you just can't turn it off. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just, we are not 9 to 5ers. Weekends can just be as busy as during the week. So I didn't really, didn't do a good job of that. I'm trying to do a better job now, which is actually better because they're adults now and we have more fun together anyway. You know what I mean? All right. So I didn't go to your soccer game those couple of Saturdays, but it wasn't like I was sitting at home sunbathing. I was just working. I'm 100% commission. I've been 100% commission my whole life. So as a single mom being 100% commission, you don't really have an option. You want your kids to have lots of things. And unfortunately, what sacrifices that is that maybe not always being present. I regret it a little bit.
It's it is so challenging to show up for yourself as a businesswoman,
Mm,
be in a industry where you got to be tougher, quicker, and faster if you're a woman.
hmm
And then on top of that, be trying to balance not only motherhood, but in your case, single motherhood.
Right.
And it's like the pressure of all of that, I think, is one of the places that we always should find grace for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because being a breadwinner is challenging, but being a breadwinner in a 24/7 job or gosh, even if you made it to the soccer game, how many text messages are you going to get? How many pre-approvals are people going to need on a Saturday?
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
so.
and I agree with you though on look, we're moms. We the minute you give birth, you already have guilt, right? Because you're already doing something wrong, right? Or we could have done something better. We could have done all these things. And I lovingly tease my sons that, hey, at least I have the money to pay for your therapy from me being a bad mom. Look at it.
That's brilliant.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
just tell them that next time. Be like, hey, but let me tell you this. You want some therapy? I'll get you some therapy. But like I think as long as their lives are filled with love and once that my therapist also told me this, which I'll give you a little pearl. She said, imagine the mentorship. Imagine who you were to look up to when they were growing up, right? Because they understood that a woman wasn't standing waiting for them to get off the bus. While that has tremendous value as well, so does seeing somebody really work for their goals and toward their goals and not be afraid of hard work, because that's what you end up instilling in them.
That's
um,
so true.
right, and pros and cons of it, sure, all day long. I'm sure that lots of people did things that were kind of better, or quote unquote better. But I do really believe, looking at both of them now, that had I not been a mom who pushed myself, I don't know that they would be the kind of people that they are.
I agree with that. I mean, I think my daughter, she's a full-time student. She works full-time, and she's a hustler. And I don't think she would have it any other way because that's all she knows. And let her believe that's the way it's supposed to be. I want her to. Like, you don't need. You can be the husband. You don't. I want her to have a husband, but like you can do both. We don't need to depend on another individual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and can you imagine if we had been raised that way? That wasn't the medicine we were taking. They were like, "Hey, get married when you're 21, pop out a baby by 24, okay? You're doing a great job." I was like, "Wait, hold on, what? Like, what if I wanted to be something when I grew up? You want me something.
Exactly.
This is
Right.
all. This is it." But there's like I said, there's lots of pros and cons in that, but it's I was never, yeah, I had two boys, right? But when I look at my girlfriends who are currently raising these strong, tough as nails, take no shit kind of people, like these daughters who are just going to take over the world, I'm always so proud of them, right? And I hope that's what I did for my sons, but also to like
Aw.
have a boss mom for a girl. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it is fun.
I love it. That's so
I love
fun.
it too.
So what, we are all in the vortex, right? We've been in the vortex for 4 or 5 years now, right? We're kind of stuck in this world where wins aren't as easy to come by. So
Mhm.
what beyond, sort of the Florida market, what is a place where you have found a little bit of exhaustion this year or a little bit of like, I just really wish this one thing could get better?
I think it would just I'm not allowed to wish for interest rates to drop, am I? Because then, like, it would just be fabulous, right?
Fair.
But the interest rates are not there. Um, I just more business, but unfortunately, the more business is going to come when maybe some of the housing market calms down and the interest rates calm down. Everything else I really love about it. I don't really have a lot of complaints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The process works, the programs are out there. I mean, there's programs and products for days, which is wonderful. I think processes now are so much easier than back in the day because everything is so digital and it's just on the computer. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do everything on your phone. Applications go on the phones, uploading documents on the phone. So I think everything else is kind of cool right now.
Yeah,
Minus,
it's hard, right? Because we don't have any control over these things, and sadly, sometimes things have to get bad for them to get better. You know what I mean? So like if interest rates go down this year, it's not like some amazing thing is gonna like something good happened and rates went down. Like I feel like something like it really like something bad has to happen for rates to go down, and nobody wants to cheer for that. And yet at the same time, we could
I'll
use some
cheer
lower
for
rates.
it.
It's like, gosh, it's crazy. Like we sold our house. We had a big old house in the burbs, and we moved to capitalize on basically capitalizing on the equity we're taking out of the house, and then we're just going to bide our time. And not everyone, hardly anyone has kind of that luxury of being able to say like, no, it's fine, I'll wait a couple years till it calms down. People have to move, people get transferred with their jobs, people need to take care of their aging parents. There's a million different reasons people really want to be in a house, and to have interest rates be where it's unreachable or houses to be so overpriced, it's such a challenge.
Yeah, true. And you know what? When I bought my first house in New York, I think I was 20, maybe five. My rate was 7 point, I think it was 7 and 5/8. And I thought I had the sexiest rate in town.
Right.
Now when I have clients and I give them like a rate of 6.87, they're like, what's the rate? I'm like, it's 6.875. And you're gonna like it and you're gonna take it and you're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Because people were just so spoiled by those twos and the threes for so long that I mean these rates really aren't I shouldn't even, they're not that bad. I mean, they're not. Well, it's just that the property values are so much higher. So property values being higher, rates being higher, all right. So,
Something's got to give, right? Just
yeah,
something. We'll take it. Either side would be. We'll take it on either side. But yet, uh, you living in Florida is a little different. Your inventory is up, right?
mhm.
Here where I live, I mean, people are fighting over houses to spend money on houses that are $300,000 more than they should be.
I know. It's heartbreaking. I don't like it. And then they're waiving their home inspections and I cringe. And the
Oh yeah.
realtor's like, let them. And I'm just like, I don't want them to. I want them to have the home inspection.
Yeah, it's a really an interesting time. What kind of buyer is kind of your favorite buyer to work with?
I, I mean, who doesn't love a first time home buyer, right?
Yeah.
Because their excitement is so infectious. And there's just nothing more for a loan officer. There's nothing more like just oh my God, it's so special just to get their excitement. Like I have to text every client when I get the clear to close because I want to see all the crazy emojis. I'm like, guess what? And they're like, oh my God, what? And then all of a sudden they're like, holy shit. And then there's like, it's just that piece right there because I know what it feels like. I bought my fifth house and you would think it gets like played after a while, but it doesn't. I was just as excited to buy this house as I was my first house as a single mom in New York when I was, 26 years old.
I had a loan officer I worked with many years ago who I did not enjoy as a human being. However, he had this video of himself in his home office, and he would play Celebrate by Kool and the Gang, I think it is. And he would dance to it and he would send it on Clear to Close. And people went so crazy for it. But I always remember him because I was like, in real life, you're a dud. But like for Clear to Close, you're a stud. Like, I don't even get it. I don't see how this happens. But people just loved it because that moment is so huge for people, right? Because people still
Yeah.
feel very intimidated by almost like the permission to get a loan. They like people still feel very much like, are they going to let me have this money, right? So they get very scared that they're not going to be able to have this dream.
Yeah, so when it is all said and done, and you say you're clear to close, and you're closing tomorrow, and just that what you get on the other side is like, I don't know, it gives me so much pleasure,
Do
so
you
much.
do you do a little do you do any networking down there? Are you still going out in the world, or are you just like, look, I got a database, I don't have to mess?
Yeah, I'm shy, girl. I do not go out. I don't network. You're not going to see me knock on a door for a realtor. I haven't gone to one networking. Have I gone? I don't think so. No. Unless I have like a girlfriend that wants to hold my hand, I'm not going. I
I
know
mean,
it's
I
weird.
feel like you just invited me to Naples.
You can come.
Right?
I
Can you
think you
imagine?
would do great down here. Can I be like your wingman?
Yeah, we'll just go into all these
Can
little.
you be my wingman?
I'll be your wingman anytime. You know, it's funny because like as a person, I'm not shy in a networking event in any way, right? Like I'm okay to do it. But whenever I take somebody with me, if I go by myself, I know everybody in the room. If I take somebody with me, I'm always like, let's just go get a cup of coffee and stand over here. And I'm like, why do you do that? Like,
No.
why do you shut down when you know someone, but yet you're so open the rest
Yeah,
of the
that's
time?
true.
I don't know.
That's yeah. That is my goal for maybe not this year, next year is to just put myself out there more and get out there and actually meet people in my world of real estate.
That's been one of the big jokes, right? Not jokes. It's funny, but it's not funny, right? Because like in 2021, we were all like, I can't wait for 22 to get here. 22 to 23, 23 to 24, 24 to 25. And now we're just, which we know 26 is going to be good. We've known that for many years. We've seen all the charts for 26. And I'm like, do we have enough? Do we have enough energy to get to 26? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I feel like we're getting, I don't know. My energy is waning, but it is true though. I mean, 26 should really be a different year for everybody.
Like a fabulous year.
A fabulous,
Yes.
wonderful. I
It's
am
so
speaking
nice.
it. Honestly, I'm going to speak a happy summer into existence. And I keep doing it. And people are like, that's not really realistic. And I'm like, anything is realistic if we stop talking so much about the negative and we're just like, hey, yes, we've
Yeah.
got, but we can make it happen. And even if we can't make it happen this summer, we can put you on track for it to happen, right? Because that's important, getting you to the place where you're going to feel safe making that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh God, yes, I can't wait. I was I when all this started, I was a sales manager for the eastern half of United States here, and my groups would meet on Mondays, and I every Monday I would be like, man, I wish they could just have a win. I wish I could just have a win. And I realized after a while I'd been saying it for like 40 weeks in a row. And now I feel like it's been 400 weeks in a row. I'm just like, come on, let's get a win. Let's find these wins because just a little bit of sail, like a little wind in the sail, little wind at our back.
Hmm.
Everything's so much different, and I think changes so much of the roller coaster we've been on.
But the cool thing is I'm still excited. Like every day, there's sometimes you're gonna think I'm like, really, Denise? I go to bed. I can't wait to go to bed just so I can get up in the morning and start and do it all over again. Like I
Oh my god,
still like You
That's
wouldn't think, they're
amazing.
like, Denise, settle down. And I'm like, no, I actually really love what I do. It really is. It's like my third child. I tell people that I have three children. Philip is 30, Gigi is 21, and my mortgage career, which is my third child. Granted, I love the other two more. I do, but I really do love my mortgage business.
I think that that's so great and so refreshing, and you know, people who have stuck it out, and people who have kept their chin up and a smile on their face and have done the work and just kind of followed through and done the tasks every day. I feel like they're the ones that are the happiest, and they're it's easiest to see the horizon.
Yes.
I love it.
And I actually encourage newbies to come in. Like people will say, well, Denise, it looks so much like fun what you're doing. Like I want to do it. And I'm like, do it. Like this is the time when people think about how many people how many loan officers we lost last year. This is the time when you're green, get in it now,
Yeah.
because just stick it out for a little bit, get your feet wet, learn the business. And then guess what? In the years to come, you're going to do lovely.
Do you focus your like what is your approach to sort of your content? Because, as somebody who assists people with their content and things like that, I'm usually telling people don't don't stay with the loan data all the time. Really let people get to know the real you. I see you on LinkedIn doing just that. What is your approach?
I think you have to do, mortgage, and then, maybe you're drinking wine, maybe you're on the boat, and then mortgage. And then, you're just being, a hot mess, whatever. Like not a hot mess, but I'm being authentic me. Like I'm not well put together. So you can't, like, people, I think when I see some videos on there and then they're so like, and I'm like, wow, that's what you're like in real life. Cause that's just like, come on, show us who you really are, right? Because people want to work with people they like and they know and they trust. So I look at it like, because I am an empty nester now, it's like I'm having fun with myself. Like, because I do work from home, so I am home alone by myself. I almost feel like I'm entertaining myself, but I'm having fun with it, and I get to meet so many amazing people. Like I got to meet you from doing all this. If it wasn't for being on LinkedIn, so I just have fun with it. But you do have to mix it up because nobody wants to listen to this girl talk about mortgages all day long. That's
Yeah.
painful. That is some painful shit right there.
I mean, we tend to be a little like I'm an honest, we we're in the LinkedIn world, right? So there's camps of it, right? There's like I'm only going to talk about sort of like the how tech is affecting it and all the stuff about the mortgage rates and what's going on with tariffs, and like this is a whole lane. But that's not the stuff anybody pays attention to. The stuff
No.
people pay attention to is like, oh, is Denise having a glass of wine on the boat? Oh, that looks amazing. And because I feel in that situation like you're my girlfriend, like I'm seeing you, like, oh, there's my friend on her boat. Hey, whether I know you or not, I'm like, there she is doing the thing. Whereas if I'm listening to somebody be like, well, with this, okay, no, I don't want to talk about tariffs anymore. I don't want to talk about trigger leads. I don't want to talk about any of this stuff anymore.
Right.
I just want to talk about like, hey, here's who I am. Here's how I serve. What can I do to make your day a little bit better today? And if you ever have business that we can do together, amazing.
That you nailed it. That's my mindset when I'm doing it.
I love it. I think it's perfect. And there are several people, Kayla Calendar being one. Do you know Kayla?
No.
She's got long blonde hair and she has four dogs. And honestly, I think she has five dogs. I might have messed that up. She's gonna kill me. But like her whole brand is like having fun and just being super open and vulnerable. She'll do any trend she sees on there. She doesn't care. And
And
she's
she's
not
on
stuck in
LinkedIn?
her head. So have to connect the two of you.
Okay.
But she lives in North Dakota. Okay.
Oh,
With like four other people, I think. And then she's just like, this is like, I have to make this fun. It has to be like what I want to do. But everyone knows her from that, right? Because otherwise you would have no idea who this lovely woman is with all these dogs who lives very, very far away. But it's
right.
her approach to being her authentic, open self and not being ever afraid to like look a little silly that I just so admired. And we became such good friends just
Isn't
based
that
off that.
cool? That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it. Same thing. I've met some really fantastic women on there that I hang out with now that are in my life now. Like one of my closest friends was her daughter worked for Loan Depot and she was a recruiter. She tried to recruit me. And she knew I was never going to leave where I was. And then a couple of years later, she noticed that I was in Naples and her mom is in Fort Myers. And she was like, hey, this is going to sound a little creepy or weird or whatever. She slid into my DMs and Instagram. She's like, but my mom lives in Fort Myers. And I just think the two of you would be like really good friends. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And can I tell you that she and I now, she's one of my best friends. We travel together all the time, all from her daughter being a recruiter for Loan Depot on LinkedIn. We literally go, because of her, I got my boating license and I got my offshore and yeah, it's crazy. We've been to Mexico together. We go on day trips. It's just all from LinkedIn. Who would have thought? Who would have think you would go on LinkedIn to meet like one of your besties?
And I think that brings everything full circle, right? If people just understood the power of authenticity in social media,
Yeah.
they could really revolutionize their lives.
Yeah.
That's
And
totally.
I get it. Not everyone can do it because you have to put yourself out there and you're putting yourself out there for some, people that are probably not going to have, nice things to say, but who the heck cares? You know what I mean? You gotta get, my thing is you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable because this shy girl, like some of the things people are like, what the heck are you doing? I'm like, I don't even know. It's just me and my phone though. It's just me and my phone in my house. And I guess I don't know. I just grow a set.
I mean, right? Because you have to. At the end of the day, I mean, honestly, you kind of had to in this industry, like probably a couple days after you got here, because it's not for the weak of heart for sure. But you just
Mm-mm.
be brave and make it your own.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Denise, thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us today. I had so much fun talking to you. Like I said, don't like run over on LinkedIn. Follow Denise. Like I will tag her in this, but watch how she's doing content. Watch how she's connecting with her audience. And if you're really nice, apparently she'll take you to Mexico. So just slide in her DMs and she'll take care of it.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Fred.